Good evening, everybody. I'm Go Veer, Go Home. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm happy you're here too. We're going to do some building today. I've been working on some Walthers kits for the last few weeks, so I'm going to continue because it's a pretty big kit build that I'm doing. So, welcome everybody. There's a lot of people that are already in the chat. We're going to go through. We're going to say hi to everyone who took the time to show up and hang out with me tonight. And looks like Eminem Rails gets the Timbits. I don't know if he's still here, but if he is, Mark, you're getting some Timbits. So thank you for showing up and being so prompt. And then we've got Mr. Brian Ferguson. How's it going, Brian? Trains by Perry. How's it going, Perry? And Willow Creek Industrial Spur and Anthony Borden. What is Mr. Dwight Curley himself? How's it going? Ronald. Hey. And we've also got Floyd Robbins. How's it going, Floyd? And we also have John. John, how's it going, John? And Glenn, how's it going, Glenn? Amar, holding it down. And Bub031. How's it going, Brandon? You guys didn't catch his unboxing and review of the Empress, the CP Rail Empress. Go check that out because he posted that earlier. Good stuff. I liked it. All right. So like I said, I've been working on this kit, and it's technically 3 kits. I'm going to show you. This is one of them. This is probably the one that I'm the farthest behind on because I don't have my walkways on yet. I have got my rails. I've got my supports, but I don't have my walkways, and nothing's lit up yet on this one. But I'm going to do that tonight. My other ones, you can kind of see them back there. You can see all the all the electricals hanging down there, and there's some walls up on those. Yeah, it's all coming together, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. So far, so good. You remember last week how I was super tired? I was at the train club all day, and then I came home, and then I did a 2-hour live, something like that. And I was doing some wiring, and then out of the 4 sections, because I usually light up 4 sections, with my LED strips. Well, I was so tired that I had reversed two cables. And that's why one of my walkways did not light up, because instead of the red being with the white, it was the other way around. So, yeah, I was so tired. And then the next day I came downstairs and I'm like, this thing's really frustrating. So I looked at it even more. And then I looked at it a little bit longer. And I'm like, oh, okay. So if I just reverse it, then it's going to work. And lo and behold, I was able to correct it without having to remove the walkway, the lighting, or anything. So that's great. Because, crisis averted. So I'm very happy that all the lights right now that's up there, all the walkways, all light up. It's all bright, really nice. So I'm hoping to do the same thing with this one here that I just showed you and get that one all wired up and good to go. So that way I can add all the other little detailed parts of the walls and the supports for the walls and whatnot. So I'm going to try to do as much of that tonight as I can. Yeah. I got most of the painting done, and that's good because it's really cold out now. It's getting cold. So, yeah. Painting outside is a little bit trickier. Great, crisp problem solving. Well, my profession is troubleshooting. So, literally, I just apply that same thing to this, and yeah, that's all it was, right? So Hey Nelson, how's it going? Thanks for joining. So yeah, so I'm gonna wire this stuff up. I'm gonna bring you around here so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry about the shaky camera. And you don't want to stare at the ceiling. There we go. So I've got my 4 walkways here. They're already stripped up with my LED strip lights. The thing with them is that you've got 2 contacts. You can kind of see those brassy kind of looking contacts right there. One's your negative, one's your positive. So you always want to make sure that when you're wiring it, you keep all your positives together and all your negatives together. And that's why we use this color-coded wire, because I keep all my positives as the red and all my negatives as the white. So if you follow that, you shouldn't have any issues unless you're half asleep or mostly asleep. But yeah. Oh, it's going to warm up next week? Well, if I have anything left to paint, then I'm going to save it for then, because I'm off like 3-4 days next week. So I'm hoping to get a lot done. And I also want to do some work on the layout too. That would be nice, because I've mapped out my yard. I'm all ready to lay cork, I think. And I'm going to have to cut some plywood at some point. And I do that all outside. So hopefully, the weather holds out and I'm able to get a lot of that done next week. Halloween is supposed to be warm. That would be a first for me, Glenn, because honestly, every year, actually last year was okay, but taking the kids out, it's rained. At least it feels like it's rained every single year, besides last year. And yeah, it's always kind of cruddy going out in that weather. Feel more bad for the kids, right? Because they've got these costumes, and let's face it, if you're dressed like Spider-Man, but Spider-Man's wearing a winter jacket, it seems kind of weird to me. You know what I mean? So that's yeah. And we got John. How's it going, John? And James. How's it going, James? Thanks for joining us. And I did see that James uploaded a video earlier. I didn't get to watch it yet, but I will watch it in a little bit as soon as I'm done being live. So right now I'm just tinning all my little connections here so that I can put all my connecting wires from LED strip to LED strip, making just a little bubble to connect the wires to. I don't know if you guys have ever done this stuff. It's tedious sometimes. I use these same LED strips under my layout, and believe me, it's a lot easier to do it on here than it is upside down, looking up at the top part of my layout. Okay, there's another one done. One more to go. I don't think I'll have to light this up to show you all of them working tonight, but it's something I'm definitely going to test. Chris, have you seen the Broadway limited business car? No. They have a CN one you can get. To be honest, I tend to avoid Broadway limited unless it's a steam locomotive, and I don't even really run steam locomotives. So, because I've seen that they are doing the new CP locomotive, you know, that brand new paint scheme. And it's like, yeah, but it's still Broadway limited. I would sooner get the scale trains one at that point. What I was looking at recently though are the E8s from Rapido, because they've got the CN noodle set, which I think looks really cool. You get 2 units though, so it's like buying 2 locomotives at one time. I don't know if I have a picture of that. I think I do, because last time I purchased something, I got like a catalog. Is there a picture of it in here? This is also really cool. The test scheme. It's a RDC, but it's a CN test scheme. Very cool. Where? Oh, where? Oh, where? Did they not have them in here? They got all the CP Rail G9s, the U-boat RDCs, tankers, flat cars, literal tanks, bud cars, or hep cars, whatever. I don't see the E8s. Where the heck are the E8s? Well, they left them out of this one. Believe me, they exist. But yeah. Oh, Anthony says the E8s are amazing. So yeah, they've already done one release of E8s, and now they're doing another run, but it's some more road names. I'm assuming that's usually what happens. Tiny piece of wire versus my finger. So the fun thing is here is that I have to avoid like this hole here, and then I have to avoid these bumps here because that's what the legs connect to. So yeah, I've got a lot going for me right now with this whole thing. Just want to make sure I don't mess up. I'm not as tired as I was last week, even though I was working all day today. Why? Did I turn this off? No, it's still on. Okay, that should work. But you've got an NYC. That's pretty cool. The yeah, that really cool. The black Amtrak one. That was really sick. Yeah, I was just thinking because technically those CN ones are pretty modern because they were just repainted and rebuilt or something. They did something with them recently, and I could totally run that. I would anyway. My layout, my rules, right? But I think that would be a nice set to have. If you're like if you model CN, anyways. They had some VIA ones, but the VIA ones are a little too out of my era. So I never really even, you know. bothered with those. Let me ask you guys something, because I mean, there's some stuff is on the way, right? Like there's some locomotives and there's some rolling stock that's out there. But what are you guys really excited for? For me, I find it very hard to get excited for certain things this time of year, because technically most of the money that I make that would be going to trains and stuff like that, not talking about bill money. I'm talking about like, my fun money, my funny. Uh, it goes to, Christmas, and like I've got two kids, so, we got to make sure that they're taken care of and Christmas is taken care of and all that before, I spend for myself. But there's nothing really on the horizon right now besides maybe some go cars that I'm all like, I cannot wait for that. I want that now. I want that on the layout running. But what is that for you guys? What is the one thing that you guys are like really excited for that is on the way? You got to have it and whatnot. Because for me, it's really hard to say. Turbo? Are you getting a turbo this time around, Perry? Do you know which one you're getting? Because again, like I was more excited for that when it was announced than seeing that it's going to be here in a few months. You know what I mean? Bud coaches, yeah, not too much as far as news on those, right? Oh, you're getting the Otter Valley exclusive unit. That's cool. And James wants the CN white one. They're both really cool. Well, all three of them, anyways, because there's the Via one, there's the CN one, and then there's the CN Via one. So lots of choices there. Jerry, welcome. Yeah, I don't think it's you're not too far off from Canada with that, right? Prices can be a little bit ridiculous at times. The trick is to watch for, sales and whatnot. Sometimes I don't run out and get a locomotive or rolling stock just because it's new. I used to, because I used to do a lot more reviews and whatnot, and I'd want to have that new car so I can do an unboxing and whatnot. But, in most cases, I would end up selling a lot of that stuff, or I wouldn't need it. So I don't do it as much anymore. I still like doing an unboxing and a review once in a while, but I tend to get the stuff more now that I know that I'm gonna need or want or love. Nelson with the Jeep 9 with calf. So you're talking about the CP one. Very nice, very nice. I actually got a chance to try my Jeep 9, which is the CN version, the noodle with the slug. This past weekend when I went to our club, the Ottawa club, and let me tell you, I was so overly impressed with this thing. Probably more than what I should have been, but I think it's just an amazing little locomotive. Uh, both the slug and the main unit. But yeah, very cool. It's very cool. You're gonna really like your CP one. If it's anything like the if it's anything like the CN version, then yeah. Truth on the prices, especially when doing the exchange rate from Canada to US. Yep, that definitely happens. You cannot escape it sometimes. It's terrible. Yeah, a good example, and don't get me wrong, because these box cars are really nice. The Aurora Miniatures 50-foot box car, very nice. When they first came out, a little bit on the pricier side, looking at $65-$70. And then Otter Valley recently marked them down to $49.99. So I would sooner do that. I set up trains on the floor last month. I wish the CN guys would shut up when switching. Switching what? Just in general, or switching from CP to CN? That doesn't matter too much. Is the purpose of a layout for the sake of running trains, or is the train's purpose of the layout? No, you can have trains and no layout. But if you have a layout but no trains, I mean, you know, there's a certain level there, right? We should probably, have trains if you're going to have a layout. Slugs. The slugs are nice. It is weird that CP never had any, and they're using the whatchamacallits. But they're prototypical. You can't really mess with proto realism, right? I just like all the flashing lights on them, if I'm being honest. Because when you put it into switching mode, and I'm not sure if the CP one is going to do that, but when you put it into switching mode, you hear the crew chatter and you got the beacons going off and whatnot. It's very cool stuff to see. The only thing I'm missing is a belt pack operator, which I still need to order. But I'm sure I'll get that at some point. That's the thing with ordering minis. If I order minis, I'm not going to order just one and then have that shipped. I'm going to order a few and then have them all shipped together. So when I order detail parts, because I do have to order some detail parts for these kits, I don't want to order just one little thing. I'm going to order a whole package full of details. Booster units, yeah. That's why you get the Jeep 9 with the whatchamacallit. Still a switcher. What is it, an SW? Let me see what it says. See, they still call it a slug set, though. See? Slug. No blur. Single locomotive or GP9U mother and slug set. But why would they call it a... It's basically a switcher... What is that, a 1000? SW 1000 or 12? 1200. I don't know. I can't tell the difference between the different units like that. Not those tiny ones, anyways. Okay, so this one, that's a positive, so we're going to put that there. That's true. Yeah, every so often you'll hear them keep chattering. It's not like a one and done thing, which whatever. But Cowboy Steve, howdy ho. I was almost contemplating on ordering the Twister themed piece Mini Prince is doing. Steve87, how's it going? After I get a lot of the main wall parts up for this, I do plan on adding some piping and ventilation to it. Not real ventilation, obviously, for obvious reasons. But yeah, I hope to add a lot of interior detail to kind of make it look realistic. And I found these really nice forklifts on the OBR site today, so I think I might get one or two of those as well because they're really nice. I can't remember who makes it, but yeah. SD70 ACE demos 7.1 and 7.2. Can you put a diorama together, a piece of track or scenic? Run trains, collect trains, run them. You could, yeah. I mean, depending on the size of the diorama, most of the dioramas that I do are very small. Like they're no bigger than a foot by foot. You can still put a piece of track on it and sit a locomotive on it, but they don't really run. I always think of diorama as just a display piece, not really, like a 4x8 where you can run a full loop if you wanted. What about the GMD ones? What do you guys think about the GMD ones that are coming back? I know it's like probably like the third or fourth run that they have done, but anybody getting a GMD one? I figure they'd be a lot better than what the old ones were or are. People still have those. Bubs lent me his at 1.2. I liked them. They were nice. Bubs is getting one for a special project. Thanks, Anthony. GP40, yes. GMD1, no. Which GP40 are you going with? And what manufacturer? Rapido? Because Rapido has those GP40s coming out soon, too. I'm not sure if they're still in the design phase or not. It's hard to tell. I don't keep track of things like I used to. I got so much going on. my schedule doesn't allow me to keep track of things like that anymore. CN 4017. That would be a good one. I'm yet to see a GP40 from Rapido. I'm sure they'll do a good job. Seems to be one of those ones that a lot of manufacturers do. Atlas, Athearn. I think Walthers probably did one at one point. Those Canon and Co fans on the Rapido GP40 sure look nice. Hey Todd, how's it going? Yeah, the new fans that they're using. I didn't know more detailed fans was a thing that we were looking for, because I've seen a lot of fans on some of these locomotives, and they look fantastic. Sorry, I regretted saying that as soon as it came out of my mouth. Fantastic. Intermountain doing a CNGP10 also. GP10. I didn't notice that. Anyone going to Vancouver next weekend? I've got some family out in Vancouver, but I don't get out that way all that much, or ever, for that matter. Um, yeah, it's been a while since I was out in Vancouver. I should probably go. The last time I was impressed by a fan was the Aurora Miniatures SD60, where they actually spin. So the fans would have to be pretty impressive for me to be all like, that's even cooler. Now, once I get the wiring on here done, I'm gonna have to cover up these spots with some hot glue, just to avoid anything from moving. There's M&M rails. Mark, you were gonna get Timbits, but then you weren't here when I started, so I had to give your Timbits to someone else. I kept them for myself. It's like, all the more for me. You know who has a wish list super long of trains that they want? Mark. Mark has a wish list a mile long. He wants so many trains. Well, Mark, the turbo's on the way soon. I know how badly you want a turbo train. A nice Via Rail turbo in the hard to look at yellow paint scheme. Hey Harold, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Todd says back in the 1980s, Bachmann made a FA1 with working fans, but it was rubber band drive and they didn't work very well. I feel like I remember that. Didn't Proto 2000 also try to do something like that where their fans were supposed to rotate? And yeah, but at the same time they didn't. Honestly, like I was blown away with the Aurora ones and how they worked. So that was really cool. Negative and positive. What are we doing here? So that's positive and that's negative. I'm positive that that one's negative. Okay, so I gotta do this then. Is your Diet Coke can product placement? Do I have a new sponsor? No, not sponsored. But Coca Cola, honestly, either Coca Cola or Monster. I mean, either way, if I had a Monster sponsorship, yeah, I'd probably be bouncing off the walls right now. But yeah, no, that was because I know I'm going to be talking a lot, and I didn't feel like water. So when my throat gets dry, I will be able to quench that. And you dropped. Yeah. Yeah, I kept saying Barks has bite, and they were like, we're A and W. And I was like, damn, wrong again. That's what happens when you have like 50 brands of root beer. You always get their slogans mixed up. Then all of a sudden you're a liability and nobody wants to sponsor. Oh well. The way Rapido is, I'm surprised that they haven't tried putting moving fans in a locomotive. It's such a risk. How's it going, Adrian, by the way? It's such a risk because, I mean, we all know what Aurora had to go through when those locomotives came out. And that could have been, you know, an ender for the company even before it gets off the ground. But they pulled through. So now they've got well cars on the way. I don't know if you guys saw the video that they shared to social media, but it shows them being spray painted and then going through a rolling thing where the heat was drying them. Very cool stuff. You don't normally get to see that stuff, and it's really neat. But yeah, they have well cars on the way. Thank you to everyone in that checked out and commented on the resistor wheel set video. I was shocked with the views over 6 days. Yeah, and honestly, you guys, like, we're all a community, and don't be shy. A lot of these guys have layouts. A lot of these guys do awesome videos, whether it's on, like the models or even real trains, so make sure you follow everybody that's here today. Let's keep the community growing and, share the hobby. I just wish my glue gun would heat up faster. It's been 40 minutes already. Oh. Keeping in mind, I think I start my video before 8 o'clock, so it's not that bad if it's only 8:35. Still, I got to get these details on here. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be here all winter. Well, with the fact, Glenn, that, I mean, when we think about it, right, they're putting the Keep Alive or Stay Alive or Mo Power or whatever you want to call it. There's so many different brands, but they all do the same thing. Now that they're doing a lot of that, it's like, that's amazing, because that's going to help out a lot of people, especially those of us who are not proficient at wiring, as I'm doing some wiring. And like it helps to keep them alive. Dirty track, it happens. Everybody gets dirty track. You can't hide from it. You know, maybe your wiring is not that great, but it's going to run really, really well because of the capacitor. So that's one of those little things that I'm thankful for that they do. I mean, you can put whatever fans on there. I don't care. But if it has the Mo Power thing, yeah, that's really cool. That's a win for me. Let's see. Finger Red #1, Chris. I saw that Aurora video too with the wild cars. I'm waiting patiently for them. Aurora containers are the best on the market. Baseball white cap out. I like them. I mean, the doors open and everything. Again, you don't see that with any other company. If anybody knows of another well car, not a well car, but a container for a well car, where the doors open, please let me know. Because I've never seen that before by any other manufacturer. Hey, all the more to you. You guys that make your switches, I wish I could. Because I get, like, a lot of people will say to me, "Oh, you have so much patience to be able to do that or to do this and that," and that only goes so far, right? Patience for certain things only goes so far. So when it comes to making my own switches, that's something I don't know if I could do. I don't think I'd have the patience for it. So all the more to you guys, because yeah, that might be too much of a nail biter for me. I commend you, and yeah, all the more to you. So you see, I'm covering up these spots here with the hot glue. I don't want any wires to cross. This will make sure it stays in place too. It's not going to move at all. So my hot glue gun is very useful. My two Rapido GP9 RMs have the Mo Power logo on the box patched out, and they have no capacitors in them. Whenever my track gets dirty, they always stutter, and I'm not an expert on installing capacitors. Yeah, it's not something that I would probably do like aftermarket. If it's the kind of thing that's done for me already, great. But it's odd that it's scratched out. I'm not sure why that would be. That makes me want to check mine. I'm going to check mine after and see if it still says Mo Power on the box. It should, because that's what they should have. About everything I need except the jigs. They are a little pricey for me right now. I'm going to try with just the pattern. Yeah, who makes those jigs? Something something. I'm really bad with names. Sorry, guys. Just something tracks. Just for tracks. I can't remember. Oh my gosh, I gotta get better at remembering things. Hazatrax? Is it? I don't know. Why does Hazatrax sound familiar? It's probably not right. Keebury had some 20-foot containers that had doors that open, undecorated. I mean, most of them are one color with a logo, anyways. So, you know, not too bad. But Keebury, eh? Keebury. I have no problem with the Mo Power Keep Alive on the locomotives from Rapido. Working fans on a scale locomotive is a bit much. I would love to have the skills to do my own switches. You know, if I had the tools in front of me, I would try one. Just because, just to say I've tried it, that's it. That's the only reason why I would do it, is just to say I've tried it. But I don't really, because then I'm there, like I'm building my layout, right? And then I get to a spot where I need a switch or a series of switches. Then I'm like going through the motions of building these switches, and I don't know how long one takes to build. Um, Maybe one a day. I don't know if I'd be able to even do one a day. But if your layout consists even a yard, right? A yard, you can have like 20 some odd switches. You know, again, depending on the size and whatnot. Yeah, that might be brutal. I'm not gonna lie. That would be probably brutal to do. Like I already do the 9 to 5 thing, and that's already bad enough. So fast tracks, right, fast track. Then what's Hazatracks? Is that something? Is that a thing, guys? I don't know. I feel like I'm not making it up. That's a thing. Whatever. I ordered my GP9 RMs from OVR, and there is a spot on the box that has a white out tape patch on it. And I'm pretty sure that I see the Mo Power logo. Okay, maybe when I'm done this, I'm gonna grab mine because it's just out there, and I'm gonna see if mine is patched out as well. But I'm pretty sure they're all supposed to have. Well, at least the DCC sound ones are supposed to have the Mo Power. I don't know if they would hold back on the DC ones, but yeah, not sure. Trackside Mike, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Is it going to be James or is it going to be Mike this Monday? Whose channel is Off the Rails Monday going to be on? Because I'm so far off the rails, I don't even remember last week. It's going to be on Mike's channel. Okay. Okay. And now, normally we do GBO After Dark on the last Thursday, but wouldn't you know it? It's Halloween night. And let's face it, my children need me. So I will be taking them trick or treating. However, James, if you're doing a thing, I don't know how long the trick or treating thing is going to go. So if you're still on when I come home, I might jump on and join you guys. Can't promise I'll be in costume because I'm not the one who's trick or treating. The kids will be. But yeah, I'll come and I'll share some candy with you guys. How does that sound? I'll raid my children's candy basket and I will share that with the viewers. I'm sure my kids won't be too upset. And I got one more here. Mike will be in Florida. Teach them about taxes and take it. Oh yeah, no, I always charge them tax because they'll come up to me and they'll be like, "Dad, can you open up this pack of gummies or something?" And then I always tax them. Oh, I tax them good. I'm like, "This is Canada. You got to be taxed too. We're gonna tax you double. Our government is not stable." Just prepping these couple more wires here because these are all the power lines for the walkways, and then I'll be able to add them. And I'm almost done my roll of solder. Look at this guy. Whoa, I just hit the end of the roll. Cool. I've got another one somewhere here, probably in my electrical drawer. Freshy. I won't need to do any more soldering after this. Okay. Now I need my hot glue gun again. So I can. Oh, wait, no, I got to solder those. Darn. Okay. Not done. Trying to rush. Maybe it's because wiring is not my favorite thing to do. I have no idea. Okay, let's do this one next. So this needs a positive and a negative wire right here. There we go. Tax the good stuff. Yeah, like peanut M&Ms. Well, because we are talking about Halloween now, what is everybody's favorite Halloween treat and that you look forward to every year, or even when you were a kid, what you looked forward to? No judgment. But for anybody who says anything other than peanut M&Ms, you're wrong. And then I have to tell you about my new addiction because I don't know why my wife would do this to me. Because there's these things. They're like it's like a gummy, and then it's covered in nerds. Do you guys remember nerds? Yeah. So it's like this little candy. It's a chewy candy, and then it's covered in nerds. And I'm basically crazy addicted to those now, just because they're so fantastic. And then I find out that there's like 4 different flavors, and I'm like, well, you're always telling me to try new things. So, I went out and got all 4 different flavors, and we had to try them all. So there's that. 2 of them are more like a jelly bean with like sour stuff on it. But the two that I do like, and we both mutually agreed are the best ones, are the candies with the nerds all over them. So there's that. Awesome Possum, how's it going? LGRFBS, how's it going? We are doing some wiring. And hopefully I don't mess up this time. Because last week I decided to solder. Not solder, I accidentally just plugged it into the wrong one. If we're keeping score anyways. Yeah, so hopefully I don't have the same issue this week. That'd be great. Snickers bar. Everybody loves Snickers. Yeah, Snickers is a good one. That was like my wife's weakness for like a while there. She goes through phases. But yeah, Snickers, and then what's that other one with the Reese's peanut butter cups? That was pretty dangerous around here too. Okay. It used to be Snickers. Now my kryptonite is peanut butter cups. Yeah. Yeah, I think you just go through phases, right? I'm not normally like a chip guy myself, but when like this Applewood smoked chip came out, I was pretty taken back by it. So there was a while where I was getting those quite frequently. And then there's these new ones by Lay's. I don't know if you guys have Lay's in the States. Probably. I'm going to guess you do. They're these like midnight flavors. And there's one where it's, they call it like midnight burger or something. And it literally tastes like a Big Mac from McDonald's, but it's like chips. So that's kind of neat. I wouldn't say that I am, addicted to those, but it was pretty good. Hey, you got your peanut butter in my chocolate. Hey, you got my chocolate, your chocolate and my peanut butter. Officer Reese's here. What seems to be the problem? Ooh, oh, Henry bites. Harry. Harry with the oh, Henry bites. Yeah, they're probably pretty dangerous. Am I the only one that likes mint chocolate, or does anybody else like mint chocolate? I feel like I get ridiculed at Christmas time for liking mint chocolate so much. because of like after eights. That's what they're called, after eight. And then yeah, there's some other chocolates that have like mint in them, but like everyone always gives me a hard time for it because they're like, that's disgusting. Or like mint ice cream, like mint chocolate chip. Frito-Lay, yeah. Barbecue flavored, yeah. Anything chocolate. Back in the 1970s, Hostess chips in Canada had pizza flavored chips. I feel like I remember that. Pass on the mint chocolate. See? Okay, well, at least Adrian likes mint chocolate. But yeah, people give me a hard time for that. I don't understand. I should have really drank water because it's not going to help at all. White chocolate, come on now. Out of nowhere with the coupons for a Wendy's Frosty. Whatever, the machine's never working anyways. Or is that the McDonald's one? Either way, they never work when you go there. White chocolate bunnies, huh? Yeah, I know of all the chocolates, dark chocolate is the healthiest for you, but it also tastes the worst because it's too strong. Todd is asking if I've ever had the Laura Secord mint chocolate bars. I might have at one point. It sounds familiar, and I do know what you're talking about. I just don't remember. If I have, it's been a good 15 years since I have. Yeah. There's so many different chocolate companies too. Like people will swear by certain ones and others, oh, I don't like Hershey's, Cadbury all the way, you know, everybody has like their brand, right? It's like the Coke and Pepsi thing. I make some squares at Christmas that has white chocolate in it, and they are to die for. You know who makes really good cookies? Mrs. M&M, which oddly enough do not have M&Ms in them at all. So that's weird. I'm gonna have to write a letter. But she makes great chocolate chip cookies. Perry makes some good cookies too. He's brought over cookies before when we were running trains around the holidays. When he came by the old layout. Chip salad is great. Chip salad. The heck is chip salad? That better not be a Newfoundland thing. All right, Steve, you have yourself a great night. And Trackside Mike agrees that Laura does make the best cookies. Guy brought in a candy bowl of M&Ms, Reese's Pieces, and Skittles in one bowl. I like a candy salad. We've done that before. Have you guys ever heard of or seen the infamous candy salad? Because, yeah, that's dangerous too. That is so dangerous. Because I got my, fuzzy peaches or sour peaches or whatever they're called. Put those in there with some gummy worms. Also very dangerous. And then those things I was talking about earlier with the little nerds on them. Oh my gosh. Sweet tooth. Okay, so these are all good. These should be all good anyways. I hope. Now, the neat thing with this is that I pre-did everything compared to the first one where I tried putting all these little legs to this, and then I tried putting it on like this and putting every little leg in the hole. That was brutal. Just put it like this, put some glue on all the tops, and then put this on top. That's the only way to do it at this point. Because yeah, so I've already got the hole drilled. I put my you know stuff through there, my wires. Yes, Steve, I was so far gone. I was so asleep and tired that I wired something backwards. I came back down the next day, gave it the once over, and reversed the wire, and it started working. So, turns out all my wiring is correct. It's just how I wired it was backwards. Womp womp, as the kids would say. So, that was a huge, weight off my back because I thought, well, that's one thing that's not going to light up. What else can go wrong, right? So, oh, that's just that. That's fine. All right, Harold, you have yourself a great night. Now, so far, these platforms have gone on pretty good, I'd say, and you know, they do what they're supposed to. So, I think that this is probably the easiest way to do it, if I'm being honest with you, which I am. So, Sour Patch Kids are way too dangerous. I agree. I agree. Add that to the candy salad for sure. The original or the tropical, I'd say. The tropical is for those rough days, where you really need something to pick you up. Yeah, my kids are pretty stoked. They have their costumes all ready, and you know, I think there's a lot more houses this year that are decorated outside too, or it might just be this neighborhood that I live in now, which is really cool because for a while there, for a couple of the years where they were younger, there wasn't a lot of houses in the areas that we were living in or near that would decorate like this one. So it's kind of cool. And I've become somewhat of a pumpkin carver where, I usually tend to do some fun carvings. My wife always takes pictures of it and puts it on her Facebook and whatnot. And I try to do something different every year just so I'm not repeating the same things. I hate doing that. Oh, oh, okay. Where's it? I did get some glue on my fingers, which is fine. It's coming together though. Got the platform in place here. Okay, that's good. Cool. Chris, are you getting any Rapido's new run of Go bi-level cars? If I can snag any. Because here's the problem. I did not pre-order. Shame on me. I know. I get so accustomed to manufacturers like Rapido where they used to make so much stuff and they'd have so much extra stock. Even now, you can still go to the store and buy a Jeep 9 set because there's just so much. Athearn, same thing. You can still go get P42s and, even some locos from the last couple of years. You can still go to the store and get them because they make so many. And I've always counted on that. But then this past year, manufacturers in general are now flipping the script and making just enough to fill the order with a couple of extras, which basically forces you to have to pre-order. And if you don't, then you miss out. So if there is any extras, I got to find them. I'd like to. Mostly the two-tone green, the Go Transit ones. I have like all of them from the first run, all the Go ones, but I want the new paint scheme, the Metrolink one. But yeah, I got to find them first. And the cool thing, I don't know if you guys have caught some of my videos recently, but Perry, Trains by Perry, he actually just finished painting for me because Atlas did the MP36 locomotive, and they'll never do, as far as I'm concerned anyways, they'll never do the Go Transit version, which is an MP40. So a couple of us, James included, we got Perry to do some for us. And I think he did a bang-up job. He even added reflective striping down the side, and I never even asked him to do that, and he's like, yeah, it's on the prototype, so there you go. Now, I don't have it yet, because he had to do the striping and all that, so I didn't get to bring it home with me, which is totally fine with me. But yeah, when I do have it, I'll do an unboxing and a review. Not so much the review of his painting, because I already know he does a great job. It'll be more or less just the Atlas model, the model as an individual piece. That's what the review will be on. You got yours today. Are you going to do an unboxing as well? You're going to have to do an unboxing. Oh, yeah, there's the pictures there. He also made a video. It's on YouTube as well, which basically shows the entire progression of, start to finish, him working on the units, from stripping them to doing the decals, the whole enchilada. Me and my dad are undecided if we're going to get a Go train, since we don't have one of the F-59s, and I like either two. Adrian, the F-59s they're on sale right now at OVR. I don't know if you know that, but they've dropped from like 310 down to like 260, something like that. It's either 250 or 260. So if you're thinking about getting one, go check out OVR trains, because yeah, they have them on sale. I managed to pick up 4 when they first came out, just because I wanted a couple of different versions, and they were available, so I didn't want to wait. What Via train were you thinking of doing? I love me some Via, let me tell you. I also hope they do more F40s soon, but after that last run of F40s where they did all the wraps and all that, plus I think they also did the Renaissance and the delivery scheme, like it was a tall order. There was so many F40s in that run. Oh my gosh. Probably the in Canadian, I would think. Yeah. Since I've ridden it before. Oh, lucky. I model a lot of the corridor. So, I mean, as far as, I don't know if I can show you. Because, all my Via and Go are in there. So I've got the Charger. I've got 2 F40s that are, what are they, the 3D? And then I've got at least 4 of the wrapped units. I've got a custom one that Perry did, which is the Diet Pepsi. You can't see it because it's right behind the middle of the door there. And then I've got 2 P42s, and then my 1 Trueline Trains Go MP40 there. And I'm waiting for the other one to show up. But yeah, I do the corridor service, so that's anywhere between Toronto and Montreal. So I've got all like the LRC cars and whatnot. And I'm waiting for the Bud cars as well. Nathan DeLay, how's it going, Nathan? This week I got my first passport. I've always wanted. I'm bringing this up to maybe someday go to Canada. Absolutely, they'll let you in. if they let what's his name? Again, names. I'm really bad with names. DJ. If they let DJ from DJ's Trains up here, then they'll let you in. It'll be fine. Yeah, I've got the F40 that has the Kool-Aid logo on it. It's actually my son's favorite one that I have. Let's see. Glad you got the passport. I ordered a couple of the AC 4400s from Scale Trains. Nice. I would want to do the corridor trains because they're shorter and cheaper, but my layout is set in more northern Ontario. That's fair. Thank you, Trackside Mike. I think I should do an Amtrak by going through the border properly. I think so. Absolutely. Steve, seen Spark and all the people from Canada make their way there. Yep. It's true. And I've met a lot of people from down south and whatnot, and when I went to Amherst last year, I met so many modelers as well. There was the YouTube meet and greet that they did in Amherst. So that was cool too. Okay, so now that these platforms are somewhat in place, I can start going vertical, which is great because you guys haven't really seen me do that, unless you have. But I get to put some of these on. And some of these. Oh, and I haven't even shown you guys like my front wall sections and my back wall sections yet. Hang on a second here. Oh, such a mess. There's so much everywhere. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be the wall that's facing outward. I've got my concrete, the white, and I added the little vents here because it's not going to be up against the wall. So that's kind of cool. And these here, this took forever, so I can guarantee you I did this while I worked. These are the front and back doors. Whoop. So like that's the back because it doesn't have the extra tall window. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whoop. Now what I'm planning on doing, because I had to do a bit of research for this, I'm talking to you guys about, how am I going to do this where the doors open and close, and I don't want to leave it open like this. I want to simulate, that it's like a real thing. So this is the door here, and it goes, right behind all this, and it's supposed to look like this. But that's boring, right? So I found some hinges, some really small hinges. I have to order them still. And what's going to happen is that it's going to open in the middle, and it's going to open, and this side will open this way. And then, then you can close them again. So I'm planning on putting very small hinges on this once I cut this in half. And then hopefully I can open and close the doors to simulate an open and closed door. Yeah. Duh. But yeah, so that's my idea with this. And I got to do it 9 times because I've got 3, times 3 is 9. So that is going to be very interesting to do, and I really hope that it pans out and that I don't break anything in the progress or process. Let's see a locomotive on one of those tracks. Oh, we drive a hard bargain. Okay, fine. Okay. Any requests? At 40, P42, what do you want to see on the tracks? And don't say something like weird, like a Baldwin something or other, something I don't have. P40, I see P42. Okay. Christopher's passport in the first place was when I 7th grade. Let's see, trains, Canada and England are my top 2. We've got the most colorful trains, I think. I feel like we have got a lot of colorful trains. Okay, so let's see about a P42. Because that was what was requested. And let's do the Love the Way, because Why not? It's brighter anyways. Yeah. So that's just kind of gives you, if you've ever owned a P42, then you kind of get the size, you know. Sorry for the shaky camera. So very nice. Gives you space at the front and the back just to kind of get the train in there. And it's a good length, right? Like if that fits in there, then you should have no problem fitting most other long locomotives. No, you know, your SDs, you know, just like the big locomotives. Yep. Very nice. I'm going to see if I can move it to the okay, I gotta get these back wheels on here because I don't think I have terrible aim. There we go. That's kind of what it looks like in the middle. I like that the door is like right there, right? So, and it's roughly about the same height there too. Yeah, it works. But when the lights are on underneath, like you're gonna see all this. But you won't see any of the wiring because it's all going to be hidden. It looks like it needs to be weathered. I think most of mine look like they need to be weathered. But yeah, there you go. Fun stuff. I like it. And it'll be fun to pull these in and, you know, have full power going through the whole shop and whatnot. In my opinion, I think some modern engines look boring because they look all the same. It's true, they can. There's a lot of repetition. The odd time. I mean, the one thing I've always said as far as CP versus CN is that CP always has the best paint schemes, where CN is a bit more bland. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, it's just what I've noticed. Um, I don't know if it's something that most railroads care. Do they care? Should they care? I don't know. But I think that's when all those CN units came out, where you know, they're heritage units for other roads. Like the only other time I'd have an EJ&E locomotive is if it's actually a CN locomotive, right? So to kind of spice up what I have, you know, I'll do that. I'll get a heritage unit, and that way I'm not running all what looks like all the same thing. Mostly because I can, but also at the same time, I mean, it just looks like an amazing locomotive. That bright orange, so cool. You think that they would? I think companies like CN, like, you know, passenger service, will care more than, let's say, freight. At least that's what I see. Via rail, they want it to look classy. Super classy. Although some guys don't like the all yellow, the banana train, as they call it. Unless they've got another name for it, I don't know. But it looks like a giant banana. Chris, I agree with you on the points on the paint schemes. It makes it a little special, especially when it represents something. For an example, there was a real trolley that was painted the Steelers colors. Oh, neat. Off the table with it. No, no way. Tonight on Rail Talk, throwing locomotives onto concrete. Who will survive? The good, the bad, and the broken? Yeah, and you know what? That's another reason, Nathan. I love all these raft units that I have because it's all the same locomotive. They're different numbers, sure, sure, but they don't look like your normal everyday F40 because they'll, one's wrapped with Kool-Aid, one's wrapped with CBC, one's Tellus, and then my Diet Pepsi one. So, I like to do or collect ones that are all a little different. Some guys are okay with having, 20 trains, all the same paint scheme and whatnot, and that's cool too. Nothing against that. It's just how we all, go through the hobby and the parts that we like about it. Like all my CN units, they're all Gevos, tier 4 Gevos. But, one's a BC Rail, one's Illinois Central, Wisconsin. Would I go out and buy, an EJ&E locomotive? Probably not, but it's a heritage unit, so it totally works for my layout. Especially during Halloween when we can run those orange locomotives, those pumpkins, as they say. Well, the BNSF, anyways. They're the only ones people call pumpkins. But you guys know what I mean. You know. So I need 51 and where's 11? So there's 11. And then there's 51. And then there should be a 51 and an 11 on here. I already took it from there. These are also gone. So where's the other ones? That's 44 and 48. Here we go. So there's 11, which can go with that one, and there's 51. James, I have 3 Pumpkin SD 70 ACEs from the first run. No, they also call the G and W's the new pumpkins. Let's talk about ghost units for a minute. Does anybody have a favorite ghost unit from at some point of its life? I mean, most of them were ghosts at one point, right? Bad joke, I know. But, they had to paint them at some point. You got to watch the numbers on these because there's a bunch of different ones. They all look the same, but they're all different numbers. So one will be to the left, one will be to the right, one will be in the middle. And frankly, you don't want to put the wrong one in the wrong spot. And the cool thing about these is that because they've got there's a little nubbin on the end there. I know you can't really see it. There's a little nubbin, and it fits down right into this thing here, which holds it in place. Very helpful. And yeah. I like the CNXGATX GP38-2. Nice. I wish I could go to the Rapido conventions, but I have a feeling I'll be too far away from it because I live in Pennsylvania and I have no idea how far it is, but it looks like fun and it'd be awesome. Chris, did you figure out what you're going to do about the folding doors? Yes, I did mention it just now. I found really small door hinges, and I'm going to attempt to have them fold inward. So I have to cut the door in half that it comes with, and then from there, um, you know, basically just attach the hinge on the inside and hope for the best, basically. GP38s are nice. I like a lot of the Jeeps, whether it's a Jeep 9, Jeep 38, Jeep 40. Um, yeah, they seem to be real popular with most people because you can throw a couple of those together and like they'll pull quite a bit. Mind you, depending on the manufacturer, of course, but in most cases, if it's a good one, then yeah, you put a couple on there and they'll pull real well. Oh yeah, so also this part here, it's a little roof piece that goes from here to here. It's a solid piece, and I'm going to show you. But I cut and made like all three of the roof pieces together, so it looks like one complete roof. I can have it removable. That's not a problem. Uh, but yeah, I made it into one solid piece. Uh, I mean, it's supposed to look seamless. I don't know. I think it looks okay. I think I did an okay job on it. But yeah, so that'll be nice to have as well, right over the main section here, so that if I need to get inside, if I need to fix something or repair something, all I got to do is lift off the front wall section, and it's good to go. The reason why I want to go to Canada was YouTube, but nowadays you are one of the many people I want to see in person, including Harrison and Mark. Mark's really neat. He's really tall in person. Uh, Harrison, probably the humblest dude you'll ever meet. Yeah, we're quite the characters up here. I only met Bernard once, close to our live for Sparky's YouTube meet and greet. Yeah, he's brought a lot of people together as well through the hobby, Sparky, and that's really cool because otherwise, you know, it's difficult to catch some people sometimes. Me, I'm normally working, so I don't get to get out to some shows as much as I'd like to, anyways. Um, but yeah, it's really neat when you get to meet people, especially like when you become accustomed to watching them online and whatnot every week, or whenever they're posting, and then when you get to meet them in real life, you're like, oh, I watch you all the time. It's one of those situations. Like I got to meet Heath. Heath was really nice. Mind you, he's really busy most of the time running around filming something, so you know that's Heath. And when I had whatchamacallit, um, what am I saying? What are the words that I am saying? um, DJ. When I had DJ come up to Canada for the YouTube meet and greet, it was really nice to get to meet him because I've been watching him for years. Yeah, it's crazy when you get to meet these people that are such a huge influence in what you do and in the hobby itself. But then again, like there's like Sparky, where I've ran into Sparky so many times. I'll just be at Otter Valley just randomly, and then he'll be there, and it's like, hey, I know you. That's what happens, right? And then of course, like Mark always coming over for the most part. Well, when I have a layout, um, we talk on the phone, or not talk, but like we, you know, got our group chats and whatnot, and you get so used to talking with these guys that you don't think of them as YouTubers anymore. You think of them as like friends or family. That's really what it is at the end of the day. The YouTube might have brought you together, but these guys are still fam. Is Laura making chocolate chip cookies for Halloween? Yeah, seriously, I'd dress up as a character and go ring on your doorbell if I know that she's making cookies and handing out cookies for Halloween. All your favorite celebrities. If I do get one, because I'm a little behind right now, Adrian is asking if I am planning on getting a Jeep 40 by Rapido. If I do get one, it would be the zebra, the CN zebra, because I really like my zebras. That's why. There's no real, you know, extravagant reason. I really like the CN zebras are my favorite. But I'm so far behind because I haven't even gotten a Dash 8 yet, and they've been out for a little bit. So that's how far behind I am. That's what moving will do to you, though, right? All your bills and all that, and life. So I'll get one eventually, I hope. But yeah, I had a couple of things on my list, and that's one of them is the Jeep 40 Zebra. You recently got a Rapido Dash 8. They're really nice. Well, that's good to hear. Uh, another reason why I don't really pre-order and at all. Uh, there's been issues in the past, and we're all aware of them. We're not, we don't shy away from it. It happens. You you get so excited because your favorite locomotive is coming out, and you spend all that money on it because they're not cheap. And then lo and behold, it's garbage. Surprise, surprise. Why is it garbage? It could be a number of reasons why it's garbage, but it sucks. It sucks that that it's a garbage locomotive or rolling stock, whatever. It could be whatever. I'm not pinpointing one particular thing. I'm just saying as a scenario. So then that happens, and then you feel very disgruntled uh, and whatnot because it's not good and you wasted your money on it. So I like to see results first. I like to see what I'm spending my hard-earned money on, especially if the prices of some of these things are going to be as high as they are if they are going up. Again, that's just me. Everybody has a different approach. They're like, well, you know what? I'll buy it. If it's garbage, I'll sort that out later. But I can't do it. I can't do it anymore because it's just it's not cool. Not cool sometimes, And it's not the company's fault. It doesn't always pan out that well, um but yeah, if if I know it's going to be good, if it's like the second run of something, then I know it's going to be good. Um, with the Dash 8, I had one of the first ones. Do you remember when they did their Prime Mover series and it was a $200 Canadian locomotive with DCC and sound. It didn't have a lot of detail to it, but that was fine because you were still getting a sound locomotive for a great value. And I bought one. It was the CN North American scheme. I don't know why I got that one. I wasn't into Zebra at that point. It was a weird time in my life, I guess. I don't know. And and I loved it. It was one heck of a puller. It and again, it's a $200 locomotive, but the thing was heavy, and it could pull. It could pull, and it sounded great too. Well, that's mostly the lock sound, but anyways. So I had absolutely no doubt in my mind that these new Dash 8s would be that good. Uh, Obviously with more detail, right? All the grab irons and whatnot. So that's why I'm kind of hoping to get one still. I just obviously haven't yet. So Chris, will you run NS on your railroad? Yeah, absolutely. I have a Norfolk Southern. It was gifted to me by Trackside Mike. I'm not opposed. I always used to talk about it. I said, if I was to get a U.S. road name, you know, Norfolk Southern would be the one that I would compromise. It would be the one that I would be pretty happy with because I like the way they look, and yeah, they're very simple. It's all black with the white pony on the side. NS, they look great. So yeah, he had found one. It was an Intermountain because I love my Intermountains, and it's a Gevo. Love my Gevos, and it runs really well with all my other Gevos. So, am I opposed to getting more? No, no, I'm not. But I've got a few things to get that are on my list first. So, yeah. I've seen those scale trains, Norfolk Southern. Yeah, they look really cool. I don't really, I don't buy scale trains, to be honest with you. I haven't really seen anything that I've wanted, like badly. And also, they don't really sell scale trains up in Canada all that much. So you'd have to buy direct, which, eh, buying from the States is, expensive. Import fees, all that other stuff. It's such a hassle. Asking Mark not to be weird is like asking Mark not to breathe. And I can make fun of Mark because we're like that. Chris will run CP and TH&B. TH&B might be a stretch. James, if you were here and you brought your TH&B, I would gladly welcome it with open arms. Will I go buy it? Probably not. CP is a different story. CP, I'd be okay with it if I wasn't already running a major class one railroad, which is CN. And if I'm going to spend all my money on, one railroad, I'd sooner just do all CN instead of going back and forth from CN to CP. But that military set that Athearn is doing, yeah, it's going to be hard not to buy that. It'll be like extremely hard not to buy. I am weird. I kept Chris as a friend. Oh yeah, weirdo. He's saying he kept me like as a friend, as if he had a choice. I got a Scale Trains Operator CN Gevo a few years ago, and I had some issues with it. So for now, I'm sticking with Intermountain. The one thing that got me with Scale Trains, and again, it's nothing against Scale Trains. I'm sure they're great. I hear lots of great things about them, but doesn't mean I'm going to run out and get any. When those heritage units were announced by Intermountain, it only took a week or two for Scale Trains to announce the exact same locomotives. And I was like, as if, like, I hate it when companies do that, There's so many locomotives and pieces of rolling stock that are yet to be touched, yet to be created, yet they will go out and choose something that another company is doing, like at that exact time. Somebody else is producing this. Well, I guess I'm going to do it too. And yeah, I just don't find it to be ethical, I guess, in a sense. That's flat. It tastes like garbage. Oh man, that's gross. Yuck. Should have got a V8. Oh well. So yeah, so when I seen that Scale Trains was doing the exact same locomotive that Intermountain was doing, you look at them side by side and you say, okay, well, fair is fair. Intermountain announced it first, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get an Intermountain. But then also you look at the price tag, and it would have cost about $400 to $450 per unit if I got the Scale Trains one, where it only cost about $330 or $340. So basically like $100 less at that point to get the Intermountain ones. I'm no rocket scientist, but I'm pretty sure buying a locomotive at $100 cheaper and like basically the exact same thing is a far better thing to do. I think Rapido should make the CN, ONR, GMD, GP3. Oh, I've been barking up that tree for years. The GP38s. So the GP38s and the GP9 high nose. Sorry, Mark. The GP9 high nose as well, 1600 series, and then the 1800 series in the ONR. I would have bought all those in a heartbeat, but they'd rather. How many companies have made the GP40s? Athearn is finally doing them in DCC and sound, but they did them a long time ago. Just DC. And then Atlas is also doing the Jeep 40 ONR in the whatchamacallit, the Aero scheme, which is the newest ONR paint scheme. I guess you guys can't really see what I'm doing. Let me turn this a bit so you can see right through the shop here. I've got all my walkways in. They're good. The 2 walls are up. I'm just adding the extra I-beams here that that go in on the certain sections here, and then I've got a couple to do on the front and back as well. Other is making the owner GP40 in the ON rail paint scheme. Yeah. Thing about Athearn is I'm just not a big fan of Tsunami. I prefer Lock Sound. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can get a DC one and then go through the hassle of adding whatchamacallit to it. But yeah, even Atlas just did the arrow scheme. There's so many options out there too, you know. There's a lot of misses. So many misses. It's unfortunate. Hopefully that stays down. Okay. All right, Adrian, you have yourself a great night. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back next Saturday as well. Do this ditty every Saturday night where I'm working on a kit or whatever, but this is just the kit thing that I'm working on now, so gotta see this thing through, right? Just curious, please don't take this the wrong way. I take everything the wrong way, Nathan. Why does Canada want people to have a DUI going to where you live? Is it understand why? All I heard, if you did a DUI, driving under the influence, we don't want that. I meant going to visit from Canada. I don't know what you mean, Nathan. A DUI up here means you're driving under the influence of buying too many trains. You can get in trouble for that, mostly from the wife. Okay, so I gotta find number 50, and number 50 goes at the front. 50 goes at the front. So there's those ones. Wait, what are the side ones? I'm gonna put the side ones in first. Where are those? Okay, here we go. These ones hold up the walls. So 48, 44. Okay, so 44 goes against that wall, and then 48 goes against this wall. And then 47, where's 47? There's a 47. Okay, so 47 and 47. So I got to find another 47. Wait, why is that? Oh yeah, because that goes there. Okay, so I need one more 47. Oh my gosh, this is so much. Okay, 47, 48. 48. There's a 48. Again, if you're not paying attention, you're gluing the wrong numbers to the wrong thingamajig. So you always got to pay attention. I'm pretty sure all those are good. So hopefully I'm done with all that. Hopefully. I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to take it too far. Not even. Chris is in major OT tonight. Only a little bit of OT. We try not to go OT. But when we do, it's probably because we're working on something so big, so revolutionary. I'm just kidding. It's just a kit. But I am having fun though. I do like one live a week, so I might as well make it worth it, right? I'm gonna build the heck out of this thing, and it'll be cool. I'm mostly excited to just like put the whole thing together and put it up so you can see how it looks all together. But I don't even know if that's going to happen tonight because there's still so much to do. I got to still detail the inside of this thing, guys, and that's going to be the difficult part because I do want to add piping, and we were going over that last week, like some of the different colors of pipe and what they represent or what they could represent, like red being like for fire, like a extinguisher or whatever. White piping for just regular water. Yellow would be a gas line. Things you learn doing this hobby is crazy. Some things you already know just from, your 9 to 5, whatever it is that you do. And then other things you pick up along the way. But don't ever stop learning. It's a 10 by 10 room, so not that big. If he cracks a new can open, we're in for another. Yeah, I don't have a mini fridge down here, so I'd have to go all the way upstairs just to get a new can. And I was like, do I? I don't know. Maybe if one of my children came down and they're like, Dad, are you parched? I'd be like, son, I am very parched right now. And my Diet Coke has gone stale ski on me, so I need a new bevy to make me get through this build. And then he's like, I'm on it, Dad. And then I'm like, I love you, son. And then I would get a new drink, but that's not going to happen here probably. Oh, well. Going to have to rework my buildings so they will fit. That's the toughest part, when you have all these buildings and it has to make sense and, it has to flow nice and all that. But yeah, making all the buildings fit. Hopper! Ooh, almost dropped my clamp. It would not have been good. I'm also running low on glue too. I think because this is, I mean, I'd consider this a big bottle. I know it doesn't look very big in the camera, but I don't normally go bigger than this. I just get one of these and, uh, you know, it lasts for a while. But at the same time, I also don't do a lot of gluing with things that are already painted. I had to do this one very specifically because of the fact that it's such a weird build. So I had to paint a lot of individual pieces just to make this work. The thing's really coming along. There's flakes on the inside. Um, yeah. I really hope that this whole thing comes together good. I'm definitely going to need more glue and I don't know why that's so high. Is that? Oh, yeah, okay. These ones are way smaller. Oh, okay. So that sits pretty low. Okay, not bad. Oh, I also have to show you guys this cool thing here because the back section, like this lower section here, um, there's supposed to be an angled roof, but because I'm trying to make this all one, like all the buildings one, I'm just going to put a flat piece going across from here right across. So all these, you can kind of see, this is it's a triangular shape. So when you turn it upside down, it's flat on the top. So then when you put this in here with the flat part up, that's how you're going to keep it flat instead of it going up like a pointed roof. And then basically, yeah, that's how I'm going to do that. And the sports will stay the same and all that. I might have to make a couple of adjustments, nothing too major, but that is kind of the plan with that. So I'm going to have to do that with all the kits. I've got all those prepped, they're ready to go. Yeah, it's just a matter of finishing all the supports here and then getting some detail stuff done. A bit of painting on the inside. I've got these little handrails that go around these walkways as well, so I got to do that too. Might end up having to do that next week because I was going to do that this week, but then I started going, building this up a bit here. I can still get inside here and do all this, so that's fine. Chris, since you run passenger service, all you will need is a few stops, your yard, and a few industries for your freight service. A hidden yard, so Distance is simulated, and you're good to go all the way. Yeah. I've got a plan for the layout, and I hope my first Third Rail Thursday of November I can lay some track, and you guys will be able to see me laying my first piece of track on the layout. So that'll be fun. Or cork, either one, whatever. I'll break ground, you know. Do you like the movie Unstoppable? I seen that movie brand new. I was 10 years old at the time, and it came out in 2010. To me, it was the most exciting movie of all time. It looks awesome. I've heard about the movie multiple times. I think it's one of those things that uh, when you're a model railroader, you always catch wind of anything train related. And I think I saw it by accident because when I was at Disney World or whatever with my family, after one of those long days of walking the parks, all I wanted to do was just sit and watch some TV. And I put on the TV, and there was a movie on. It was involving a train, and I was sitting there watching it, not knowing I was watching Unstoppable. So, yeah, which is funny. And then the commercial came on, and then I pulled up the guide, and then it said Unstoppable, and I'm like, oh, I'm watching Unstoppable. Okay, that's why I'm having a good time. But yeah, I technically have seen it. Probably not from start to finish. I don't know how far in I was, but yeah. I have to do a video on my TH&B roster. That would be cool. If you wonder next time what my age is, think of the year or end with the last two digits and guess now that my age. I am because I was born in 2000. My birthday is March, and so is DJ's. So is mine. Mine is March 15th. So I am a Pisces, if that matters to anybody. I don't think it will, but if you're also a Pisces, I think Lauren is a Pisces too, which is funny. But yeah. Just give layout. Just gives the purpose for the trains for being there. Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to have like an A and a B, right? You got to get from A to B to do whatever. When I went to the club, because I've just recently signed up to join said club. You have to learn car cards and all that stuff, and switching, which is fun. It's fun. It's not for everybody, but it is fun. And the more you learn at these functions, the more you take with you, and you can practice that and apply it to your own layout. And car cards is not something I've really ever considered doing, which is kind of silly because I really should. But it's something I'll most likely try to implement in the future, if not with this layout, but maybe a future layout, just to add a little bit more realism, at that next level to it. I'd like to do some more operation type stuff. I think it would be neat. I'm not opposed to it. Heard Broadway Limited is going to make the Canadian steam engine. Chris, please do it the wrong way, but this is a true story. See, whenever somebody starts out a sentence with "Don't take this the wrong way," I always take it the wrong way. I'm just giving you a hard time, Nathan. When I was in 7th grade, I was 12 or 13 years old. There was a guy who made a speech. I realized he was a Holocaust survivor. Oh, neat. Okay. I say that because of the same reason you accidentally watched Unstoppable. That's how I feel about that story I just said. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I do that quite often, though. Accidentally watch a movie. I'll be like watching something, and then I'm not sure what I'm watching, and then the credits come up, and I'm like, "Oh, that's who I was watching." Oh, okay, neat. It happens. This thing has way too many supports for its own good. I got to trim a lot of these still because they're, I had to paint them in the sprue because I'm not going to paint that, uh, you know, just by itself. So I kind of have to, you know, I'd love to incorporate the car card system Hotrack uses for my layout. It's doable. It's totally doable, Mark. Only you can prevent forest fires. It was good to see Mark at the club as well. Mark, there's no layout in December, eh? It's early January would be the next one after the November one. I don't think I'll be able to make it to the November one because of the fact that I work every other weekend, and I think it's the setup is on the weekend, to which the group would do their setup. But yeah. Oh, here's an interesting tidbit for y'all. So there is a museum that is in Ottawa. So like I'm just outside of Ottawa, and there's a museum called the Science and Technology Museum, and they had asked the train club if they could do setup of the layout because it's a modular club layout. So they take it down and put it back up, once a month, and it's always a different configuration, which is really cool. Lots of different modules and whatnot. I'm sure that you guys have seen videos at some point, either on my channel or Perry's channel or Bubs's channel. Yeah, they've all done that at least once. So if you watch in, I think it's in February going into March, uh, they'll be doing a club setup at the Science and Tech Museum. And if you're obviously in the area, then you can always stop by and see. And if you're not in the area, then just watch it online. That makes sense if during the holidays I'll try and make it. Yeah, I think it's like the first. I think they're the next setup. Well, not the next setup, but the setup from December is going to be the first weekend in January, which I think I will be able to make. So, and I think they're doing it as a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's a little bit more of an option. I don't remember completely, but I think that's what they're doing. Big CW, how's it going, Chris? I heard your locomotive got shipped out as well, so you should be getting yours. James got his today, and I'll probably get mine whenever. I already got to run it, so I'm good. Always the first weekend after New Year's. Yeah, so first weekend. Yeah. 46 and 46. So which ones are 46? These are 46. Oh, I think I still need to add those to there. This one's going to be further along than the one up there. Whoops. Yes, Tuesday says the tracking. Nice, nice. So, okay, yeah, Tuesday, yeah. That building looks really good. Thank you. Thanks, Willow Creek. Yeah, it's taking quite a bit because there's three of them, right? There's three of them. They all connect together. So I gotta make sure that this is done mostly correct. And then it's just a matter of connecting them all together, hoping for the best, and then yeah. But all the electrical is done for the under the walkways. It'll all work. I have faith in that at least. And I can't wait to put the front doors on and the back doors because I think they look very sharp. And I'm very excited to add that on there. And then, of course, if it all works out, then I will have some operating doors as well. Well, they won't operate. They'll open and close because I open and close them. But yeah, they'll have hinges at least, you know. But now my Kitchener Processing Center probably Wednesday. Ooh, new kit day. Just notice that your handle says Chris, big CW. Too funny. Yeah, because it's normally Chris W, but it used to be Big CW. I think you should just go back to Big CW. That's just me though. You can't mess with a classic, Chris. Come on now. You're breaking our hearts out here. Okay, so what are those? So I need those. Whoops. Chris, some people say I have patience for my scratch building, but I think you have more patience than me for those details that look like they're tedious, and I find you impressive how much effort. You know, like, no matter what you do, the more effort you put into something, the more you're going to get out of it, I think, anyways. Because, you know, I could do a total rush job on this, kind of botch it, and just, you know, just go to town, really. But I won't be happy with it, A, and B, I've never been somebody to just do, you know, what does it look like on the box, you know, and then do that. I can't. I try to make it look different than that, and then for what I have to do on the inside, it's going to take a bit more, but I think that it'll be worth it to, you know, add a bit more to it, just bring it to life, give it a bit more personality, if you will. So, and then Mark says that I do put a lot of effort into my layout. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, you want it to look good. Try, anyways. I'm not pro. I just do what feels right, I guess. Chris, would you consider running your layout by computer, like passenger service and freight by throttle? That's what if I could set it up so that my passenger is automated and then I run my freight around that, that would be cool. Because then I wouldn't have to monitor one train. I could just worry about, the one I want to run and then just treat it as regular traffic otherwise. That would be ideal. Yeah, check this out. I'm going to add this piece here. It's going to make this a bit more stronger. But I think I got most of the supports on the inside, so we're good there. And honestly, Walthers does a really good job with these kits, making sure everything fits and, everything's snug. Everything is labeled correctly, it's a big part of this, right? Because if it was a crummy task, then I wouldn't be having fun right now. But this is fun to me, so here we go. Yeah, it's about that time. It's about that hour. I wanted to at least get this part mostly done, and we've got the one top wall in there, and then all the supports are in. I think that's good for me as well, really. Whoops. Because I do have to get to bed. I work again tomorrow. It never ends, guys. It never ends. I'm laughing way too hard. Chris, end your stream before I get in trouble. Well, hold on. I still got to go get my kitten and bring him down and show the world. I should do that at the beginning. Get everybody all worked up and stuff with new kitten type stuff. Chris, the country Bosnia still used World War II German steam engines to this day. The steam is never stopped running since they were built in World War II, now carrying coal for cheap reasons. Yeah, I think I saw something somewhere in passing where there was somebody who had kept a steam locomotive running. Again, I was kind of just passing through. I think it was something on the TV, and it's super cheap to keep them running, and it was still very effective. No need to replace it, and and I think it was overseas. I don't know where exactly, but which is pretty cool because they were very good locomotives. Chris, it can be done through CTI and JMRI with signal system. Yeah, but then I'd have to add signals. I don't think I'm there yet. I'm trying. I'm going to try eventually, and hopefully it works out. But we'll see what happens. Looks great. You did a good job on the kit, Chris. Thank you. It looks even better when all three of them are side by side. And then I laid the roof across. Oh yeah, I gotta show you guys that. Ooh, soldering iron. It's a good thing that's not plugged in. So this is the part that I was talking about, because it's you can kind of see there's like obviously the line right there, but the only thing I had to do, there's an eaves troughing along each side, and it sticks out a little bit past the end of the wall here, or along the end of the ceiling. So I filed it down right here and right here on both sides, and then they go together very clean. You can kind of see that. And then I use my plastic welder, and they become very solid. And then it's still like, yeah, and then it goes right across the top of all three of the kits, right like this, and it covers the whole thing. So it's very cool. Well, everything's falling over. Sorry, guys. That was my bad. Stupid tripod. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I did the roof. I should paint it. I ran out of white paint. I don't even know what color I'm going to do the roof yet. I don't think I've gotten that far. And plus, with the cold outside, I might have to wait until next week when it's a little bit warmer, like Perry said. Perry said it was going to get warmer. And then there's some roof details here that I can put on, but I don't know if I want to use the details from this kit or if I want to use something else. That is a bridge I will have to cross next week or something. And then maybe even, have all three kits here so you can see them side by each, so that you can see the whole building. That'd be kind of cool. Which will probably be something I have to do like either next week or the week after. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Some people say German and British steam engines that have side things on the front of the engine that is safety reasons. Smoke detectors designed. Chris up still UP still runs steam. Yeah. But Nathan was talking about like overseas. Yeah, I don't know. Does he? Oh yeah, I guess like the big boy, right? Is it the big boy? Is that what you're referring to? That steam? I don't know a lot about American trains and whatnot, but I'm trying. I'm trying to learn. There has been a time in England where there was too many train crashes. Nowadays, almost all the British steam trains have smoke detectors. That's fair. That's fair. Brush smoke without a smoke detector makes the drive not see probably to prevent that from happening. Airbrush. Yeah, airbrush is on my list as well. It's not on my next week list, but at some point I'm going to learn how to airbrush, and I have to buy an airbrush and then discover the patience that I will need. Maybe, can I find that on Amazon? Patience to airbrush? Do they have same day shipping for that? Oh man. I don't know if I'd be able to. I think that's why I just use a rattle can. If I'm being completely honest, I think it's a patience thing. Cleaning out the little thing, I don't even know what it's called. Cleaning out the thing every time you need to switch colors. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be tough. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tap out too. It's 10:30. I think that we did pretty good, and the kit's coming along. All three of them are getting there. So come back next week, and we'll do some more, and we'll hopefully be able to add some detail stuff because that'd be kind of cool. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for piping and whatnot, but there's still so much more to do with the kit before I even get to the detail stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Go Veer, go home. Also, don't forget that Mike and James will be live on Monday. I was going to say Tuesday, but I'm like, no, it's a Monday thing. And then, of course, James is covering for GVO After Dark, which is going to be a Halloween edition this Thursday, October 31st. Be spooky and be safe. And we might see you. I might be on Thursday. We don't know yet. But for everyone else, have a great night. Stay safe and go run some trains. Do it. I can't right now, but you do it. You do it for me. Tell me what you ran. and leave it in the comment section. And I appreciate it. See you guys.